Good morning, students. It's great to see you. And as always, you can either call me Mr. Bustamante or you can say Mr. B. Either one is fine. So how is everyone today? Is everyone happy? Feliz? Is anyone sad? Triste? Everyone looks happy. Feliz. Great. So before we get into today's lesson, I just want to say thank you for your participation and sending in your photos through Class Dojo of yesterday's lesson and how you were able to apply it outside of the classroom. That was great. We had 100% participation, so please keep it up. So today's lesson is going to be on fractions. So before we get into it, pointer fingers. Eyes are watching, ears are listening. That was really good. Let's do it one more time. Pointer fingers. Eyes are watching, ears are listening. Great. So like I said, today's lesson is on fractions. Have you ever had to share something by show of hands? Christina, yes. Cookies, yes. I love sharing cookies. Anybody else? Yes, Ronald. Pizza, yes, they're cut into slices. So, how do you split it when you share? Yeah, you break it in half. You offer a bite. Yeah. Anybody know what a fraction is? Yes, when you can mathematically break down the part of whatever you're sharing from that whole. So we have a really cool video. I just want everyone's attention. Remember, eyes are watching, ears are listening. All right, let's get into the video now.
Hi everyone! Today we're going to learn about fractions. A fraction is a number that is used to show how many equal parts there are. When writing a fraction, we put one number above another number with a line in between them. The top number, or numerator, tells us how many parts we are talking about. The bottom number, or denominator, tells us how many parts there are altogether. When something is divided into two equal parts, we call them halves. One piece out of two total pieces is 1/2. When something is divided into three equal parts, we call them thirds. One piece out of three total pieces is 1/3. Two pieces out of three total pieces is 2/3. When something is divided into four equal parts, we either call them fourths when they appear in math, or quarters when they appear in daily life. One piece out of four total pieces is 1/4, or 1/4. Three pieces out of four total pieces is 3/4, or 3/4. Two total pieces out of four is 2/4, but because it is the same amount as one piece out of two, it is expressed as 1/2. You can keep cutting shapes into smaller and smaller pieces, and as long as the pieces are equal, those pieces are fractions. In the same way that 2/4 can be expressed as 1/2, other fractions that contain the same amount of the whole may be simplified or reduced to another fraction. For example, 4/12 is exactly the same as 2/6, which is the same as 1/3. Fractions are used in many places in our everyday lives. They are important anytime you want to share something equally, measure a part of something, or even tell time. Take a look and see if you can find any fractions around you.
Do you see fractions around you? Yes, all different foods we share. Maybe we pour water into separate cups, right? So here's a picture of a cookie. Now, this split is kind of off center. Is that equal? No. how about this cookie here? There's kind of a jagged split there. Is that equal? No, that's not equal either. That looks pretty equal, right? Yeah. There's equal parts and it's split right down in half. So let's review. What's a fraction? Fraction has equal parts of a whole, or is equal parts of a whole. What is a fraction line? The line that separates the numerator and the denominator. So numerator is the number above the fraction line. The denominator is the number below the fraction line. So here we have 3 pies, pizza pies, right? So we're going to cut these pies in a way that there's going to be equal parts. And in review, we're going to be labeling the denominator and the numerator using the fraction line. So let's say this pizza is cut straight in half. Now we have 2 equal parts. So that number goes on the denominator. Let's say you take away one side of it. Now we have one side that is taken away, and that goes in the numerator. How about this one here? We split it in half, and then we split that in half again. But now we have 4 equal parts. Let's say we take one piece of that. We label that on the numerator as 1. Finally, in the typical pizza pie you would see when it arrives at home or at the pizza shop, now count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that number goes where? Yes, Carlos, on the denominator. Now let's give a slice away. And that number goes on the numerator. Now if I want to give 2 slices away, now that becomes, yes, Mary, 2. What if I want to give 3 slices away? Daniel, it becomes 3. Great job following, guys and girls. So now we are going to hand out already cut pizza pies, and you are going to be labeling them right there at your desk. But first, let's review. A fraction is equal parts of a whole. A fraction line is the line that separates the numerator from the denominator. Students, you are doing an amazing job at creating your own pizza pies, labeling all the parts with the new vocabulary that you know. Now I want you to pair up with a partner, and you are going to be pretending that you are serving them 1 slice, 2 slice, 3 slice, all the way up to 8 if you want. And at the end of that, you are going to be using your app. We have a really cool fractions app on your tablet. It's already installed. So I want you guys to go ahead and split into partners, and I will be going around and checking your work. Also, in review, if anyone is still a little shaky about it, you can raise your hand and I'll come over to you. But I want to show you one last example. Now this is a whole. It's untouched and I won't be cutting it. This here is a half. This next one is cut into 3 slices. 1, 2, 3. Does anyone know what number goes on the bottom? Yes, Sally. Number 3. And if I was to just take 1 out from the whole? Yes, Carlos? Yes, 1. This would be labeled 3rd, or described as 1/3. Excuse me, 1/3. Finally, we have 4 here. Who knows what number will be going in the denominator? Yes, Christina? Great job, 4. And anyone know what number will be going on the top? Someone who has not answered already? Yes, Brian, I see your hand. Yes, number 1. And this will then be a 4th. So if we go back to our pizza example with 8 as the denominator, this would continue as 1/5, 1/6, 1/7, and then finally, anybody? Brian again, yes, 1/8. Great job. So I want everyone to give yourselves a round of applause. You did a phenomenal job. And again, we're going to break out into partners. And you can even put toppings on your slices. I'll have little round pepperonis going around. And anchovies, if anybody likes anchovies. Yeah, they're a little yucky. I don't like them either. But anyhow, I'll be going around. I'll be reviewing with you guys. And I just want to let you know you're doing a great job. Please keep it up and see where we can apply these when we go home. You might eat a cookie when you go home. You might eat a square brownie or something, right? And how are you going to be cutting them? If you're going to be sharing them or just cutting it to save it for later, try to think of those fractions. Maybe write it down on a piece of paper. Take a photo right next to it and make sure you upload it to your Class Dojo app so we can share it tomorrow in class. Thank you, students.